I shall know that it was tough, it was amazing, it was annoying, it was frustrating, it was good. And there were times that I just be like, I'm done, I'm going to my father's. It's what makes you an esquire in Nigeria. You know, we have to go through hardship and patience. That is one of the qualifications. So you accept that you already pick your lane. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been forever, and I know, this is supposed to be a life update. What have I been up to? What's been going on? Why was I off? Yada yada. But the long and short, the cocoa of the matter is that they robbed me in Ikeja. They took my phone from me, and my phone is my camera, and it just left me stranded for months. And that was like a week to my 23rd, and it was just horrible because I feel like I was already tipping on this edge of a place I did not like, and the fact that my phone was just stolen just sent me spiraling down. And I'm just going to tender my apology. I hope it offers me a place back in your heart, and if I never left your heart, thank you. Guys, I look so fine. Oh goodness. Last time we spoke, I was preparing for my Nigerian law school exams, and the results has come out, and the next video you'll be watching after this will be my law school result review. So how was my law school experience? Law school was I don't even want to talk about it, guys. I don't want to talk about it. One sad thing that happened is, even when my phone got stolen, I'd recorded an entire video on my Nigerian law school experience. Like, I'd opened up all my heart, cried the cry, do everything, done all the drama, then I stole my phone. But yeah, they didn't want me to talk about my law school experience. My law school experience was shaped by different things. It was shaped by the fact that, one, where I was coming from, where I was going to. I know it sounds like a lot of philosophical bullshit, but yeah. Where I was coming from, meaning that if you watch my first video on this channel, you'll know that, like, right at the edge of crossing into a first class, I didn't cross into a first class, and I was really hoping for it. It didn't happen. But as much as people are always saying, forget the past and move forward, guys, it is not that easy. Because every time I was close to pouring myself into law school, just a flashback of how I felt when I didn't reach my goals in uni. But many people were trying to be positive and saying, I'll have a first scroll, I'll have a first class. I never was able to fully say it myself because there's a part of me that was always holding back. I didn't want to get hurt again. So in law school, I never had like I'm going to have a first class. Sometimes I would be like, hey, I'm going to have a first class. Some other times I'll be like, let me just pass. My law school, I don't have focus. So another thing that shaped where my law school experience too was where I was. So in uni, I was very, am I going to practice law? Am I not going to practice law? At some point I was sure that I wasn't going to practice law, but in law school, when I was introduced to the procedural aspect of law, which we really weren't introduced to because you were the COVID-19 state, we'll talk about that later. But in law school, I was sure that I did not want to have anything to do with the court system. Like, every time we had mock trials and people were saying, oh, they wanted to be prosecutor, I'm like, I just want to film it. That's all.
That's the way lawyers should behave. So if you are relying on any authority, make sure you bring your authority. But to bring your phone and be reading from your phone, I will not allow it in my court.
I just want to film it. Sometimes I'll just be in the class and I'll just look around. I'm just like, why am I in the midst of all of these people? What am I struggling for? Why am I killing myself over civil litigation? I was in Abuja campus. I just think that Files was in Abuja campus, and I'm sure it wasn't that easy for him to, and he already knew that I didn't want to practice law, but somehow he still stuck it through. He still saw it through, and that's why I told myself that I'm just going to see it through. And some other people that were in the entertainment industry that studied law could see it through. I could see it through. It sounds very cheesy and it sounds very, but really it actually helped me. My classmates and I spent just 7 weeks in law school. Just 7 weeks legit. Out of, we're supposed to spend about 11 to 12 months, I think, and we had to write the same exam that every other person that spent almost a year in law school wrote. Yeah, so put respect on it. Obviously there was COVID-19 in my set, and even before the COVID, other schools had resumed. UI did not resume until like a month or two into law school, so we already missed like 8 weeks of lectures. And so by the time we're resuming, they were sending us back that, oh, there's COVID-19 now, or go. And then we went, and I literally taught myself through law school. I mean, procedural aspect of law. I remember most of the time I spent my time in law school reading at home. So I don't have the typical law school experience that many people can boast of, because I spent, okay, it's getting dark now, but we're just going to manage as long as you can see my pretty face. So I spent a bulk of my law school studying by myself at home and not knowing when my exam would be, or when they would call us, or if we would do externship. We didn't even do externship in my set. So I did not go to court and see how a court system works. And you would think that after law school, they'll send us for externship, and they didn't. And I'm excited about it. Some people are angry. I'm sorry, but I'm excited. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm happy I didn't have to go. All that is paining me is that I don't see content to film for it, but you know. So I remember that a day before the MCQ, I solved the question, and I had like 6 over 20 a day before the MCQ. I read a lot in law school. Forget all these something media. I read a lot. The backstory is I made a deal with myself that I would never cry, and I never cried. No matter how hard it was or how bad I felt, I never cried. I was always smiley, and I had amazing flatmates. We laughed a lot. We made just a lot.
Guys, look at your media meat floor.
Mommy, what are you going for? I'm not going again.
My house best because
Other
guys, media meat floor reading for bar final.
Anybody that is looking is fine. A week to bar final. That person.
Yo.
The rescue is shaking. And I just never cried, you know, no matter how hard it got. But a night before the MCQ, it just felt like all the emotions I'd been repressing just came down on me when I saw that 6 over 20 or 9 over 20. So I just solved it. It was matrimonial something. Petition! Yeah! It was petition that didn't even come out. Okay, it came out, but not in MCQ at all. So I just cried for nothing. I just closed it. I was just thinking, people have been telling us that a week before MCQ, a week before exams, they were getting 18 over 20, many of them 20 over 20. I'm getting 9 over 20.
So I don't tell half stories and mislead people. It's not like I was consistently having 6 over 20 or 9 over 20. I mean, I'd had many times 18 over 20, 17, 19, sometimes even 20 over 20 just before the exam. But that particular night, I tried out a new topic that I hadn't read, and I had 6 over 20, and I forgot all my past successes, and I was only focused on the 6 over 20 that I had.
I'm getting 6 over 20. You guys, as I was just walking, and I just met a friend of mine, and no. It wasn't when I was walking that I cried. In the room, I just cried. I just broke down and I cried. And I was so angry with myself that I cried. I cried. It was... Anyway, but that exam period was just so hard for me, especially because I know that I would solve questions, I'd read stuff, and after exam people will say that, oh, questions in past questions came out. I'm like, I don't see any question in past. Oh guys, I remember one exam that I wrote, my criminal litigation. In law school, you're supposed to have ID cards, but guess who didn't give us ID cards until a week before exams? Law school. So I had my ID card as a law school student for just a week. I'd gone to ask for my ID card because people's ID card came out. I registered on time, and you know, my name didn't come out that I had ID card. I went to complain that the exam's on Monday and I don't have ID card, and someone was telling me, what you mean you don't have ID card? You don't need it. You have a slip already. We are overworked. Whoever told you to go and get an ID card doesn't know we're going through in law school. He started shouting me down like, I go come out, know to go and go through ID card stress. So on Monday I went for my exam. Still went to look for my ID card. They said there's still no ID card. My slip was enough. Tuesday was criminal litigation, I think it was Tuesday, I'm not sure. I shall know that on criminal litigation day, criminal education is a course that I like the most. I've been liking criminal law since I was small, but yeah, it's because I'm a criminal. I don't know. I like criminal law in university, I like criminology, and I still like criminal education in university and in law school. I mean, I was ready. I had my cases. I'm like, oh shit. Actually, I didn't feel that way before criminal investigation exam. I felt like I was just fucked up because like, I didn't revise because I was just hungover from the first exam I'd written. It was the first paper, so it wasn't as fast for me to get over it that well. So you know, I couldn't revise as much, and then I was feeling like, what if? So I started went to the exam with all the what ifs in my head. Then when I got to the exam, oh yeah, oh, give us sheet, oh, give us exam paper, give us all these things. So next thing they say, if you now have the get the fuck out. Yeah, get out. Want to get me, one father gets me, all people eat. And I went to look for ID card. You guys, I don't want to tell you all that story. It was just unnecessary. There's just one nonsense woman that said she had to finish eating her own breakfast first before she attended to us because law school, you know, whatever nonsense she said, she's not sent us to law school. Guys, it took about 30-40 minutes to get our ID cards, and it wasn't a fault of my own. I don't know about other people because I kept going every single day for my ID card, and they said it wasn't ready. Apparently it was ready, but they didn't put my name out there, so it just kept reflecting that mine wasn't ready, and it had been ready since I got to the exam hall. They told me that question sheet are finished after like 30-40 minutes, and nobody will give me back as gone, and I'm drafting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Anyways, I shall write the exam. I remember that after many exams, civil litigation, I just felt sad. I just felt I could have done more. I just felt it wasn't enough. I just felt because I feel like they could have made our stay smoother, because online classes really, and it was so irritating. They would say they taught us in the online class. What do you taught us? Oh, and in law school, you guys, you know, it's easy for you to say that I'm gonna go and get this, it's cool. But I promise you, when I was in law school, I started respecting charge and bail lawyers. Anybody that gets called to the bar, to the Nigerian bar, my dear, is smart. Because you guys, even to fail in law school, you still have to read to an extent. I went for a party in law school. I not tell you people that one. I went for a party. Oh, they don't come. In law party in the university, but in the law school I went. Maybe you people not saying that's why you not pass the lies. After the exam, I went for the party. Anyway, so someone was telling me that they were scared about law school. It's very hypocritical for me to say, oh, don't be afraid. Have faith, because I was afraid, and largely I didn't have faith, you know, or I didn't have consistent faith. But I'll say that like law school is a ride. And there would be the good emotions, there will be the bad emotions. You just have to embrace them and just keep your head up. That's just it. The system just might be designed to frustrate you, but people have hacked the system. I mean, I hacked the system, and I don't even know. I don't have time for motivational speech. My only share that it's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal. It's something you can conquer. My experience was not typical, so if you're watching this video, you're most likely not going to be in law school for just 7 weeks, you know. But I was in law school for 7 weeks and I hacked it. So put respect on the name and respect on anybody that was in this COVID-19 set, because we tried, we taught ourselves. Even if they are saying they taught us, I don't know what they taught us, because I thought that they taught us until you guys, like, we had like 2 weeks revision week, 2 or 3, I think 3. I don't know. We should had a couple of weeks for revision where they'll go through the entire syllabus for us before we wrote exams. And I learned more in those weeks than I learned in about 7-8 months by myself at home. So the point is that if easy, do if you're someone in law school, don't be the demon, don't be the villain in their story. Show up for them if you can, and if you can't, shut up. Don't put unnecessary pressure. It's very tasking to go through the Nigerian law school. That's not the time for you to start fighting and picking stupid fights with them. That's the time for you to support them. That's the time for you to overlook flaws. That's the time for you to just be there for them as much as you can. Send food. It'd be very wrong for me to make this video and not give a very huge shout out to Yemi. I know that a lot of people were amazing during that period for me, but academically especially was Yemi. I remember because where I did my law school at home, so it was too easy for me to forget that I was in law school. And it give us tests, it just say, Moyo, just do this, just do this, you can do this. And I just want to say thank you, Yemi. Thank you so much. And thank you for not being a villain in my story. Thank you for being a hero in my story. And what else did I say about, what else was my law school experience like?
Why they give you money?
You guys, I saw maths in law school. Oh my goodness. You should see this video.
Just keep going on. Don't stop.
But I hacked it. See, that's the importance of having amazing people around you. People that are positive, people that when you let down your guard, they're still, you know, I'm not saying perfect people, because I mean it's law school. At different points in time, different people will lose it, and that's all right. But generally, just have people that are very positive minded. Our goals are different. Different things mean success to us. But the point is to have a positive mindset. Just be positive. Just, but it's not easy. Me really positive doing it. I think I was the negative one among the four of us, but I shall have positive people around me.
Let's see my mind.
As long as it's not negative.
I'm tired.
Negative.
I want to sleep.
Bad.
I don't want to be there anymore.
Ah, this is not you.
I'm tired. Precious. What are you? Why are you feeling beside me?
I'm here for the videographer. What the fuck? It's not your fault.
Do you know that this barrack kitchen could now actually put plenty stew for me?
Sorry. I get to pay for that outfit. The chicken was so sweet. I bought chicken. Yes. When I was done, and I put everything on my bed on the fan.
Precious, that she finished eating. She said she's really very full. She now on her fan. She now moved her breast to her bed.
That's covered my body.
I was not work like that.
I was preparing myself to sleep, and it was the word sleep, man.
Oh, I don't know what else again is in my law school experience, so I shall know that it was tough. It was amazing. It was annoying. It was frustrating. It was good. And there were times that I just be like, I'm done. I'm going to my father's house. And sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, civil litigation is so amazing. Wow, criminal litigation is so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna hack ethics. And sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, I don't need to cram RPCs. I don't need it. Point is, you already enter, you have entered in here. You already started from 100 level, you have done 500 level, made law school. Now you want to go back and go. Oh, I don't know for you. My own is just to finish what you have started and carry your Esquire. Go. Once you enter the Esquire, nobody can call. Even if you don't pay practicing fee, I say Esquire. Oh, can they practice? I shall know that it wasn't the easiest thing in the world. At some point, I felt like people deceived us when they said that, but it's not hard, it's amazing, it's nice. Sometimes in the middle of it, I'm like, I'm people for me. Shout out those YouTube videos that were saying that it was not bad. It was bad. But at the same time, when those things are just feelings, in that moment you might feel like, oh my god, it's so horrible. But in the next moment, you can feel like, oh my god, this is so amazing. You get? So you can't just rely on one moment of feeling in law school to define your entire law school experience. It's a marriage of emotions, a marriage of experience, a marriage of feelings that some of them you even forget, some of them you repress. But at the end of the day, it's what makes you an Esquire in Nigeria. You know, we have to go through hardship and patience to be a Nigerian citizen. That is one of the qualifications. So you accept that you already pick your lane. That's it. But it's easier when you are in law school and you know that that's what you want to do. It feels like you are fighting for your dream. But if you're like me, that you know you entirely want to do something else, it feels like you're fighting for another person's dream, or it feels like you're fighting for something you don't want, and it's not really a nice place to be. But you get through it, right? I don't know what else is the experience. I don't even know again the experience. I just know that it was all right. I know that it was stressful. I know that there's sometimes that I hated waking up in the middle of the night. I hated like immediately after my exams. The next day, I still woke up to read. I forgot that I finished exam. I still woke up in the middle of the night that it's time to read again. I had to force myself to sleep back because it's just in your head. And I remember that after law school, I still had all these cases. I still had all these principles in my head. I'm like, please, who can I pass it on to? The way they used to pass on textbooks and notes? Can I just pass on all this unnecessary knowledge in my head? Like, I could quote cases at Adeoye and the state, this one and the state. I could quote cases and principles and RPCs and karma. I'm like, what do I need this thing for? So they were just in my head. So guys, that's the end of my story. I want to just thank my mom and my daddy, my sister, my brother. I want to thank everybody in my life. Thank you for calling me. Thank you for texting me. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you.